Hi there, good afternoon everyone. This is Liz Davis. I am a nutritionist and I specialise in digestive health for busy women. So I help busy women fix their bloating issues, IBS, heartburn, painful digestion, and any associated issues such as hormone problems and chronic fatigue, etc. Anything you can't quite get to the bottom of. And I do this with state of the art testing, usually, and supplements and dietary and lifestyle upgrades to really help to bring things nicely back into balance for you and get you living your life as you should be. So there's an underlying driver normally for all kinds of disease states or illness states, so they say, and that is inflammation. So it's really important you pay attention to inflammation, and if you think that inflammation is an issue for you when you've listened to this video, then take measures to try and bring that down, which you absolutely can do with diet and supplements and things like that. So what I'll do is I'll just explain to you the difference between beneficial inflammation and not so beneficial inflammation, and then give you a few pointers at the end of how you can address this if you think it's an issue for you. And if you have gut problems, then to a degree it probably is a little bit, at least in part anyway. Okay, so what are the different kinds of inflammation then? Well, you've got acute inflammation, which is inflammation we absolutely need. So if we cut ourselves, we want inflammation, we want our immune system to drive towards the cut and then allow the body to heal it nicely. That's the kind of inflammation we want. So other kind of examples of this would be if you had a sore throat while you had a cold, or sinusitis, or you had an infected insect bite, that kind of thing. Those are all examples of inflammatory states that we want and that are beneficial to us. However, there's another state as well, which is chronic inflammation, which is entirely what we don't want. And chronic inflammation can arise because we haven't managed to address the underlying cause of what's causing it to happen in the first place. So with the acute inflammation, you know it's acute because it comes and goes. It normally hangs around for a few days, does its job, and then it's off again. If you have a cold, it hangs around for a week or so, and then all those symptoms subside. With chronic inflammation, it can be hanging around for weeks, months, years even, and cause all sorts of problems. So if you have any of these kind of symptoms, it might be worth looking into. If you've got ongoing fatigue or abdominal pain or skin rashes you can't get to the bottom of, joint pain, asthma, cardiovascular disease, rheumatoid arthritis, gut problems such as ulcerative colitis and Crohn's, those are all chronic kind of chronic conditions that need to be addressed. So if you've got problems with your digestive system that absolutely aren't, anything like ulcerative colitis or Crohn's, because that would have been diagnosed for you, but you can't get to the bottom of it. It could be something like an imbalance in your gut bacteria, which is kind of driving a little bit of inflammation. So if you've got too many less desirable species of bacteria, not enough beneficial ones, sometimes you can get a little bit of an imbalance, and some of those bacteria can be really quite inflammatory. So it's important to bring those back into balance. If it doesn't happen, then these gut inflammatory conditions can then give rise to other kind of systemic inflammation like neurological disease or disorders, depression, arthritis, etc. So it doesn't stay in the gut, it can spread throughout your system. So if you have got inflammation in the gut, we would be looking at food intolerances to start with. We'd be looking at stress and getting stress under control, any kind of toxins from the environment, or your diet as well. So if there's lots of processed food, sugar, if you're dehydrated or consuming too much caffeine or alcohol, for example, they can all drive inflammation as well. Okay, so what can you do if you suspect inflammation is an issue for you? How can you approach it? Well, the main thing to do is make sure you reduce the number of, or the level of omega-6 fatty acids in your diet. You need to kind of balance the omega-6 and the omega-3. You do need them both, but we tend to have a lot of omega-6 in our diet and not so much of omega-3, which we find in fish mainly. So that balance needs to be addressed first off. The second way you can do it, which is actually quite nice, which is to drink the odd glass of red wine, packed full of quercetin, resveratrol. It's actually very beneficial for you in small doses. So it's no good drinking gallons of it, because then the alcohol can have a detrimental effect as well. You need to keep it, just the odd glass here and there, and get those beneficial effects from the grapes in there. If you don't want to drink any alcohol, if you don't want to drink any wine, you can get quercetin in green tea, kale, blueberries. It's not the only source, but it is found elsewhere. But all those things would be a part of your balanced diet anyway. As I say, omega-3 fatty acids, so you'd need to up the level of fish you're eating. A lot of people aren't keen on fish, so if you're not keen on it, then make sure you're supplementing as well. And then there's turmeric, which is absolutely amazing for all things inflammation. It's really helpful for joint pain, that kind of thing. It can really nail those issues for you. So a simple way to get it into your diet is just to sprinkle a bit in curries or into your rice while it's cooking, that kind of thing. And if you've got more kind of deep-seated inflammatory issues, then think about maybe trying a supplement as well, which can be quite helpful. Obviously, get advice from your healthcare provider if you're thinking of supplementing, because you may have medications or anything like that that can clash with it. So there you go. That's a bit of a rundown on inflammation, where it can be beneficial and where it's not so helpful, and then what you can do to try and address it. If you found that useful and you'd like more information, then do download my free recipes below. There's also a link to book a call with me if you'd like to discuss taking your gut health journey to the next level, and maybe want to look at testing or coaching or supplement advice, that kind of thing. Then do hop on the phone to book a free 30-minute call with me. Okay, I shall see you next time. Bye.